Alright, I don't have a single clue if this recording is gonna come out good. I've been up for quite a while, so my voice is a little nasty, and it's probably not the best microphone to begin with. I'm making this video to kind of criticize Elder Scrolls. I like this game, don't get me wrong. I love the lore, I love the story, it has good replayability. They're constantly adding new things to this game. I'm not totally disparaging this game. My issue is what I'm doing right now. The grindiness of this game is, for lack of a better word, bullshit. The fact that okay. Oh, yeah, I'll let you. Oh, no, guess you didn't want to get that. Yeah. Ah, fuck. Damn it. You must wait a few seconds to pick the lock. I'm not gonna get this one either. Nope. Yes, finally. Okay. Back to the point. The grindiness of this game is, for lack of a better word, bullshit. I have been at this for probably about an hour. It's 1:33 in the morning right now, and I've probably been at this since 11:30-ish, somewhere around there. I'm honestly not entirely sure when I started this, but I've been pretty consistently grinding. I've went through Craglorn, I walked all the way around Craglorn, and now I'm in Stros Mackay, walking around all over here. I literally started over here and I went all the way around. And I'm looking for platinum dust. I've got 76. I think I started with maybe 12. I'm not saying that it's not a good haul, but for 2 hours, but for an hour, 2 hours, that's nonsense. And if you're wondering why I have so much turn plating and so much iridium, I bought those. You know, this game is not. I want to say that it's not for the casual player, but it is as well. If you're a casual player and you're trying to keep up and you're trying to, make really good sets of armor and all of that, you're just not going to be able to do it in what I would consider a timely, efficient manner. You know, is it possible? Yes. If you know, have a really good guild that you're in and, you're really selling stuff and, yeah, sure. You could probably make a decent amount of gold, buy all the materials that you need, and you could totally, make whatever you want. Not a problem. But if you're like a real casual player that just does the story and really doesn't go into much, like I'll be honest, I'm in a few guilds. One of them's inactive. One of them I created for, just to see what it would be like, and I didn't even get anybody to join, so it's not really anything important to me. One of them, a buddy of mine wanted to create just so that, shit, um, just so that he could use the guild bank. And the last one is a trading guild that I'm in that, honestly and truly, I don't think he picks good places to have the guild trader because it's just, yeah. All right, so that's the first platinum team I've seen in probably like 20 minutes. Um, but yeah, it's far too grindy for what it should be, and it's not fun. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be, a level of grindiness to these games. RuneScape is a grindy game, but it's enjoyable because, let's take, for instance, the mining. In this game, I mine, no one else can mine it. And once it's done, it's used up. In RuneScape, at the very least, 12 people can mine off of the same thing. It's not a problem. You know? Do I think that this game needs that kind of system? No. I just think that the mechanics need to be tweaked a little. Personally, I think that the platinum seams should give more platinum, which would in turn, and probably all of the jewelry seams. Jewelry is the pain in the ass to get. If they all gave a little more, it would lower the prices, meaning people could actually buy stuff. They wouldn't be the only pieces in the equipment set that are the lowest stuff. It's just, this grindiness just isn't fun, and it makes, I got this guy default. Yeah, that screams bot. Real default. Yeah. Maybe it's just me, but that screams bot. But anyways, it's just, there are multiple ways that they could have gone and made this better. Made the experience better. But I feel like ZeniMax just didn't care enough. Either didn't care enough or didn't want to deal with it. Basically just said, here, let your, oh, yep, there we go. Yeah, I'm gonna head back this way. Because I'm back where I started, effectively. Wow, now I get like 3 back to back. And this dude's following me. Dude, how many times do you have to come up to a frickin' node with someone and not get it? Like, use your head. Anyways. Like I said, I just think this could have been done differently. There are multiple ways they could have made this experience a little easier. It feels like they made this particular part of the game for people who use this as their day job. Because you really have to. You have to be on this consistently for days, for months. Just grinding and grinding and grinding just to get anything. Unless you're doing other things that kind of involve a lot more social work. If you're not a social player, if you're not someone who is really into being around other people and really being, playing with teams and whatnot, running dungeons, because like I can't solo all the dungeons. I can solo some of the beginning ones on a different character. This is this character right here is specifically my crafter. Um, my my stats are not very good, and even my skills are just trash except for what I need to survive and all of these. Oh, wait a minute, what else? Um, recovery. I think I'm gonna put those in because I can get more points later. I'm not gonna bother with that. But yeah, so I feel like this game mostly caters to the habitually online crowd. The people that are playing this game for hours at a time, streamers, people who, you know, can function with very little sleep and basically they get like 2 hours of sleep. They spend 5 hours on this before work, and then they spend 5 more hours when they get home. That type of thing. That's what I feel like they pushed a lot of that for, because this is not for the casual player. If you just come on and do just by yourself, and maybe you do a few delves, you do, the story, even if you play the story all the way around and you do all of the Covenant and I'm having a brain fart moment. Um, this area. Even if you do all of that, if you're not a social person on this game, you're not going to succeed. And I feel like that's kind of a detriment. Yes, it's an online game. Yes, the point of an online game is to kind of be around a lot of people, but it shouldn't shy away from the population that just wants to play the game and not bother with a lot of people. I shouldn't have to join guilds to enjoy the game. I shouldn't have to team up with people who, you know, like in every community, there are toxic players, and there are toxic people in this. Um, it's not right that we should have to invest in that in order to enjoy the game. That should be a bonus. That should be extra. And yet it seems like that was what was pushed. Because, like I said, if you are not social, you are not going to be able to get everything out of this. I'm currently creating a armor set for my main character. And, making all of these different armors maxed out and all that, yeah, good luck. This is going to take me months to be able to do this, because I've got to go around and compete with other people to get resources to do this. And the resources don't give me much. Like I said, I've been at this for about an hour, 2 hours, and I've got 86. You know, that'll be good for to get more platinum. You know, I got 75 platinum ounces. Yeah, 10 of these, so I'll be able to refine this 8 times and make, you know, between 7 and 10 platinum ounces each. Yeah, that's great. That's not going to give me enough chromium plating to do anything. And this is also a side note. This is like a side tangent. Uh, This was a complaint that I had a few years back, um, that I think kind of butchered this game, and I'm seeing a lot of MMOs do this. Um, Vindictus kind of did this, but not in this way. I just see a lot of MMOs kind of destroying their game in a certain way. Um, when one Tamriel came out, where you could start as a pact member, jump over to the Daggerfall Covenant, and just start that. That is where I think things really started to go downhill for the crafters, because if you notice in my jewelry crafting material, very little copper, well, a decent amount of copper actually, but electrum, not so much. Silver, I've got 7. Like, it's borderline impossible to get silver. And I know that there's one other, because that goes from 10 to 70. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I thought it was something else. All right, but yeah. So electrum and the silver, I'm probably never going to get those. It's impossible for me to get those. And the reason for it is the one Tamriel thing. I don't know how many people, you know, who are going to watch this video are going to remember this, but back when I started playing, if you went into the pact, you had iron and steel, you had orichalcum and something else, and then you had the higher stuff. You didn't start seeing, um, you got to like the level 50 gear around the rift. The champion point 10 to 20 or something like that didn't start until you got to Glenumbra. Actually, I think you could find it in I think you could find it in Cold Harbor, but most of it was in Glenumbra. And the champion point 160 material was in Reaper's March and Hrothgar and Craglorn. Um, in fact, Hrothgar used to be a major farm for it. You'd kind of just circle around and just continually sweep around, and you'd get quite a bit of rubidite. Um, but now I get rubidite over in Stone Falls. I don't get any iron in Stone Falls. You know, I don't get any obsidian, or not obsidian, ebony in the Reach, or wherever it was. I don't get, I think it's called, no, it's not what I thought it was. Yeah, the Galatite. Yeah, Ebony should have been around the Reach, no, the Rift, and Cold Harbor. If I'm not mistaken, Cold Harbor. Like you basically were supposed to max out at that 50 in Cold Harbor. Calcinium was what you got in Glenumbra if you started in the Pact. But now, once you hit 50 in any character, you start earning you start earning champion points. If you have a character that is over 160, the second your character, actually, it doesn't even need to be 160. You could be like 150 or 140. Um, the second character gets to level 50, you jump up to that 150 or 140 or whatever. So immediately upon maxing out my regular levels, I jump up to the max level, and all I find is rubidite or the logs and whatever the max level stuff. I also see this in other games too. Star Wars: The Old Republic. You can go on any planet that's there, and you will match that level. Like everything there will just match to that level. Will match to your level. So if you go to a planet that's supposed to be like level 50 and you're level 20, everything you will be maxed up to that level. Well, not necessarily like maxed up to that level, like you will be put to the max of your level and like everything will be leveled down. It's some weird shit. I can't remember. It's been a while since I played that game. Um, Vindictus, which is a Nexon game, they screwed their game up by oh shit, that's not where I wanted to land. They screwed their game up by basically telling people that they're going to control how long you spend on that game. If you stay on that game for more than like 3 hours, they basically stop you from playing. They also made it super easy to level up, like not even like there's no skill involved. They took away all the high level stuff. It's just not fun to play anymore. And I feel like that's kind of on a similar vein as this game. It's no longer fun and enjoyable to play when I have to spend 90% of my time grinding just to get materials to make my characters better. That's not how I want to play the game. And then you have the issue with the bots, which I don't think are on PlayStation all that much, but you do have a lot of, like, just fake characters.
Halt. Come no closer.
Yeah, go screw yourself. It's just... This isn't fun. Grinding and grinding and grinding just to get the materials that you need. I can't see this as being intentional, but at the same time I can't see this as anything less than just not caring.
Come no closer.
We didn't want to put effort into thinking of how to make this appeal to a broader audience, so we just implemented it the same way we did everything else
Stay back.
and let people deal with it. You know, once you get to a certain level, all you're gonna get is max level gear. When I run on my other characters, all I get is max level gear, 160 gear, which gives me Rubido scraps, gives me ancestral cloth, it gives me everything. You know, if they just implemented a system where you got more material for the jewelry stuff, it would balance a lot of things out. More material means, I didn't even think of that. Um, shit. Okay. More material means more, things that you're gonna break it down into, like when you craft the platinum ounces, you get other stuff in it. So more material means you have more opportunities to craft that other stuff, which means the prices are going to lower. Prices are going to be manageable. It's ridiculous that, rubidite used to go for like, I think it was like 5,000 a stack or something like that. I hate it so bad. Used to go for like 5,000 a stack or somewhere around there. I can't remember fully. Like it used to be very expensive. And now it's effectively worthless. You get it hand over fist. You don't even have to really do anything. You can just go and do a little bit of grinding in a delve and get a whole bunch of Rubido items.
Welcome to the
It's just not fun to deal with the jewelry aspect of this game. And I feel like online, not online, I'm thinking online because I'm thinking PC. Um, I feel like the PC version fixed this and the prices lowered. I could be wrong, of course, but oh, they just didn't make this game appeal to a larger audience. They made it so that you have to be sociable. You have to, put in the time to grind and get all of this. It's just not fun, at least to me. And it's really a shame because I enjoy this game. I really like playing it. I like going around and talking to different characters, and I like the story that it's done. I like the new stories that have came out. I recently was doing the Dagon one down in Blackwood. But it's just getting to the end game, for lack of a better word, it's impossible unless you're a certain type of person. If you are a casual player who's not very social, who does not want to deal with groups and all of that, you're not going to make the most of this game. You are not going to get to the official end game. You're going to be stuck in the late stages, but that's about it. Like, sure, you can make level 160 gear, but you'll never be able to max out your 160 gear. You'll never be able to really do a lot of these things unless you're a sociable kind of person. And I feel like that is a disappointment because this game could appeal to a lot of people that aren't really sociable. It's just kind of a shame. And that's my gripe for this game. It's a minor gripe, at least in the grand scheme of things, but I feel like it's just not appealing when I have to grind to that degree just to get to the end game. Like I said, 2 hours, and at best I got 70 platinum dust. That's ridiculous. 2 hours in RuneScape, and I would have thousands of rune, um, elder rune, all these different stuff. Or the dark anima, light anima, I think that's what it is. Yeah, because you use dark and light anima plus a rune bar to make the elder rune. Yeah, so I would have so much in 2 hours. This game is grindy. And if that's not your kind of game, it's going to be disappointing that this is not going to be very interesting to you. You might enjoy the regular game, but if you want to get, like I said, if you want to get towards the end game, this is not going to be very enjoyable for you.